myself that I find what really matters to me, and I have also friends and family. What would I like to look at in my tombstone? In my tombstone or in my
Bible?
in my tombstone?
No,
What would I
no.
like to be written?
Gravestone.
Gravestone. That's what I say. Okay, that's what really matters. The rest is extras. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, last time we also talked about what would be what you want to write on your tombstone, right? That really capture the essence of your life. And
Why would that matter if you're dead? If you're dead,
Because I think that goes with me, and that's the difference I made in my life into other people's lives in my throughout my lifetime.
But when you're dead, it doesn't matter.
I think it
well,
matters.
but it doesn't matter. But how we live his life.
How I live my
matters.
life, yeah.
Because that tombstone only a summary of his life.
I guess that would be for the majority of people who believe in an afterlife. I suspect are probably a minority here.
No,
but,
how do you believe?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking how I live this life. How I'm living right now.
Yeah.
That's been summarized in my tombstone. No, I know what you're talking about, the afterlife. No, I'm not talking about that. What is going to be summarized in that tombstone is going to be how I live my life.
Okay, but who are you trying to communicate it to? Or rather, why is it important for you to communicate it to anybody?
No, it's not about the communication. It's about what I did.
Yeah, and he wanted to leave something for anybody to walk by and read and say, hey, that's something, his legacy. He want to teach the next generation, that other people, influence other people, make them
Just
feel-
live that life though and show it in your actions as opposed to in a tombstone.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
show it
Yeah.
and live it.
And more important to live it, but if you like to say, for example, I'm doing the next exercise. Well, okay. Now, this is actually, what do you really believe? It was, what is your philosophy of life? What is your guiding principle? In terms of how you live your life, how you behave, how you make choices. So that, what you believe, affect how you live, right? What you write on tombstone is simply a summary of what you believe, how you live your life. Now, what is my book?
And what we want to put on our tombstone, our survivors may not end up knowing it. They may not believe that it's right.
But see, as a kid, I might be crazy. I love to go to seminary.
Cemetery.
Cemetery. Now I used to study. I used to study at St. Stephen Boys School in Stanley, Hong Kong. Anybody knows that? Yeah. Now St. Stephen Boys School and college is near the cemetery. Many people were buried there. Especially many people killed by Japanese on the beach and then buried there. So I used to like to visit the cemetery and look at tombstone. In fact, my first poem that I ever published is on meditation on cemetery. So reading what is written on the tombstone can be very inspirational and very instructional. Now here is something. Now before you die, you got to have some guiding principles getting to your life. Now this is an interesting book. This I believe that has been a radio program going on since the 50s. And now this book, like for example, what does Bill Gates believe? Huh?
Make money?
He said, what do you believe? He said, I believe in unleashing your creativity. That's why he dropped off from Harvard. He went to, create something. That's unleash creativity. The curriculum of school is too restricted. For the same reason, Steve Jobs dropped out of college. He's not a creative guy, right? Now, if you are a judge, what do you believe?
You're a judge.
Now, a judge would say, I believe in the rule of law. Now, if you are a revolutionary or a freedom fighter like Nelson Mandela, so what do you believe? What we believe? I believe in freedom. Without freedom, people cannot determine their own future, cannot pursue their own dreams, right? I believe in freedom. And there are all kinds of interesting things. It's not just, yesterday I asked Josh, he said, what do you believe? I said, now don't you give me a Sunday school answer. a Sunday school answer says, I believe in Jesus, I believe in the Bible. But that doesn't mean anything. Tell me how do you live your life? What do you believe that guides you how you live your life? The Apostle Paul said, for me to live is Christ. When he said, I believe in Christ, salvation through Christ, he actually demonstrated with his own life, right? He go everywhere, preach the gospel, he was stoned, he was jailed, he died for preaching the gospel. That's when I say, what do you believe? It's not a dogma, or it's not a doctrine, but you believe that really affect how you live your daily life. That way. Now, I'm going to pick on her now. We'll just sit here. Now, I know Jessica is shy, okay? Tell me clearly and loudly, what do you believe? What do you believe?
I believe that people are valuable and uniquely gifted and have unique things to contribute and need to be helped to become the best version or the most liberated version of themselves.
Okay. So you believe in simple sentence. You believe in the dignity and goodness and potential of each individual.
Yeah.
You believe in the dignity and worth and the value of each individual.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? So that means you better love me, care for me, right? And respect me. Everybody's valuable, right? So whatever you believe, it has to manifest itself. You ask me what do I believe in? I believe in helping people and fighting injustice. You know why? I want to help people through the Bible, through psychology, but there are limits to what I can do helping people. Carl Rogers comes to the same conclusion. Carl Rogers is the one who invented person-centered counseling. He said, well, I can counsel hundreds and thousands of people, but if society, if the government is corrupt and oppressive, okay, that was something I can do to help individuals. So therefore, I have to fight injustice everywhere, right? If society is unfair, if the government is oppressive, you can counsel an individual, it only do that much good. So that's why I help individuals and also fight injustice. Everywhere, okay? So that's all in my life. So, to know what really matters is to know what you really believe. You follow me?